Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This month has been, well, let's just say a bit of financial roller coaster. A few weeks ago, my beloved car decided to die, and with 2 kids and all the family logistics, I couldn't really wait around. So I had to swallow the pill, reach deep into my wallet and buy a new car. Now, that little surprise completely wiped out my emergency fund. Poof, gone. So my emergency fund is now officially at zero. Not great, I know, but that's life, and that's exactly why we built an emergency fund in the first place. Right now, I'm rebuilding it step by step, and to do that, I have had to slow down my investing plan a little bit. I haven't stopped it, I have just reduced the monthly amount I invest. I'm still keeping the automation I created. Every month, money leaves my main account and goes straight to my Trade Republic cash deposit. That automation helps me avoid spending my paycheck impulsively and keeps my finances on track, even when things get messy. So the idea is simple. Keep investing a smaller amount while also rebuilding the emergency fund month after month. My goal is to get back to around 3 months of expenses, which was the size of my emergency fund before the car situation. Actually, I knew my car was getting too old, so last year I had already allocated part of my emergency fund for this eventuality. Still, even with that preparation, this expense hit hard. That's why the emergency fund is one of the most important milestones in our investing journey. A well-sized emergency fund keeps you from having to sell your investments at the worst possible time, turning a small problem to a bigger one. If you're not sure how to size your own emergency fund, in this video here I go into that in detail. It might help you avoid being caught unprepared when bad luck strikes. Alright, let's now take a quick look at my investment dashboard. As you know, my portfolio is still pretty small and focused mainly on growth. That's why 90% of it is invested in the S&P 500. I currently have 3 main lines: an ETF tracking the S&P 500, an ETC on gold, and a bit cash left in the Trade Republic cash deposit at 2% interest per year. Since my last update, the S&P 500 has been doing great, and so my investments in this ETF tracking the S&P index, which is returning 18.55% since the beginning of my €100,000 challenge back in 2024. But the biggest surprise has been gold. I started investing in gold at the beginning of 2025 because I had the feeling that market volatility would stick around for a while. So I wanted to diversify a bit, add a more stable asset. And I'm glad I did it, because gold has performed really well in 2024 and 2025, even beating the S&P 500 and the Bitcoin. Right now, I've got around €2,700 invested in gold, with a return of about 24%, not bad for a so-called safe haven asset. And if you're curious about why gold has been rising lately, in this video here I'm diving into that. And now the cash deposit, as you can see, is now down to about €600. That's the part that I'll be working to rebuild over the next few months. Overall, I have now about €37,000 invested, with a total return of 20%, which is pretty solid considering that that's the equivalent to more than €7,000, approximately 6 months of savings. I am now almost at 44% of my final target, and I'm hoping to reach €50,000 in the first month of 2026. Before I wrap up, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's been commenting on my videos. A special thanks to Faris. Your message really keeps me motivated to publish new content every week. You totally got the reason why I make these videos. It's not about teaching the theory of investing, there are already tons of channels that do that. What I want to share here is the daily life of a standard retail investor, the real story. The one that includes mistakes, doubts, unexpected events, and small wins. Because this journey is not made only of charts and compounding curves, it's also made of moments like a car breaking down or a moment where things don't go as planned. And yet, we keep showing up, adjusting and moving forward. That's what this channel is about, showing that investing is not reserved for experts. It's for anyone who's willing to stay consistent and learn along the way. The first 100,000 are the hardest, and unfortunately there are no shortcuts. It takes patience, discipline, and resilience, but sharing this path together with all its highs and lows makes the whole process not only easier but also more meaningful. Investing is a long marathon, and having a community to walk that path with makes all the difference. Alright guys, if you made it all the way to this point, thank you very much for your attention. If you enjoyed this update or you find it helpful, please consider hit a like or subscribe to the channel. And remember, don't let unexpected emergencies drag you down. Stay consistent, stay motivated, and keep going, because every small step counts. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye!